Hello everyone, my name is Rafael and I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Before we jump into today's video, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone for all your support, and I'm so happy and I'm so glad that you guys really like the idea of creating 100 different ideas for headshot background. Now I'm fully committed and I'm super excited that you guys really will receive this concept. And again, I'm so glad that you guys support me in this. So I'm gonna do my best to deliver you those 100 different ideas. I'm working on the list and I'm getting close to 100. So now I just need to execute those photo sessions and execute those videos to share all those ideas with you guys. So one of the feedback I have received from you guys after my last video that you would like to see something which is a little bit more complex and something which is a little bit more advanced. So I've decided to actually go that path today, and this concept is, even though it seems like it's fairly simple, but takes a little bit of work to make this happen and make this whole thing look good. Another aspect which is important, I think this idea can also help you to push this whole thing towards own direction, and you can put some own spin on some of those things and create a little bit of, I would say, own style concept, but the idea itself gives you the strong foundation to take this to another level. So what I've decided to do this time, and so this is idea number 2, I've decided to use balloons for the background. The balloons give you this dimension, they give you some interesting bokeh, gives you some interesting pattern. And what I found recently in one of the local stores in Calgary, and I'm sure everyone who lives in North America knows Walmart, it's kind of interesting store, you can find a lot of cool stuff there. I found those really neat balloons for birthday parties, and the thing what I really like about them is that they silver, which they reflect light quite nice. Also, they give you this really interesting dimension which creates patterns for your background, and also they fairly big, which you can fill up entire background with just 8 balloons and then you're ready to go. So this is kind of neat. As I said, they in silver color, but they also comes in kind of gold color, and in one pack you're getting 2 sets of balloons. One says happy, pretty cool, and the other one it's the birthday, right? So they come with 2 and they cost me $4 each, so fairly inexpensive, and I need 4 of them, which gave me 8 balloons. But in order to make this work, there's few little things which I want to mention. I had to create some kind of layers to make this background a little bit more reflective and make this whole thing kind of look nice. So it's a little bit of, I would say, challenge to put those layers together, but as soon as you figure this whole thing out, it's pretty neat, and I'll show you at the very end what kind of results you can expect. They're pretty amazing. So what I've decided to do, the first layer, I would have to have some kind of fabric or some kind of material or something which is going to reflect the light even more. So what I've decided to do, the first layer of my background was this silver fabric, and I got this couple years ago in one of the local fabric store. You don't have to have the silver look, you can go with any type of white, and again, doesn't even have to be fabric, as long as you have a background, the first layer of your background, which has some kind of reflective tone, which is white or silver or something which is going to reflect light pretty well, you're going to be good to go. The next step was attaching those balloons to that background, and in this case, you guys probably can see those balloons, they have this little kind of hooks over here. So I use just like a regular tape, and I actually just put them in different formations and just try to kind of make this whole thing looks pretty cool, and then just fill up the entire background with those balloons. So that was the first step. The next step, I had some pockets with emptiness where there's pretty much just the fabric. So in order to make this work and get this, I would say, consistent background, I use aluminum or tin foil, like people sometimes call it, and make those little kind of like balls, which actually I just fill up those empty spaces which wouldn't give me this interesting pattern. When I finished that part, this background was ready to go. In order to get a color, I had to add some color tone to it, and in my case I used my speedlight with red gel on it. So the speedlight was about 2 meters away from the background, so the light would actually throw some red tone of light on this entire background. So that's pretty much the entire, I would say, setup. And then in order to actually create something different, you can change the color of the gel. You could go with blue, you can go with red, you can go with green. You can just come up with any type of colors just to give this background some kind of tone. So I had my model about 3.5 meters away from the background, and I'm gonna actually list it in the description what kind of equipment I've used, what kind of setting I've used, just to kind of give you a little bit more information so you guys can understand this process even better. But the entire concept, as I mentioned, is just the balloons. There's different types of balloons you can get. Even white ones will work. You can make it bigger, smaller. They don't have to be those types. Any type of balloons will work. You can make them different, I would say, sizes, different shapes. The sky is the limit in this case. But the balloons, they will give you some really interesting dimension to your background and really interesting pattern. That's what I really like about it. And the reason I went with those balloons was because they have different shapes and different, I would say, colors, and they have this really reflective surface which would give you this really interesting pattern. So of course we did the photo shoot, and then we did a bunch of different colors, different type of gels which I have used, and that pretty much was the entire concept. So now let's reveal what kind of images you can get from it. This is kind of neat. I hope you guys gonna like it. This is pretty amazing. And again, pretty simple idea, but I think it's very effective, and it can gives you some very, very interesting background which you can use for your headshot. So I hope that was interesting, and I hope this give you new, I would say, idea you can work with. And I'm sure as soon as you try it and you start using this for your sessions, I'm sure you're going to be able to create something very, very interesting and very unique. So I'm sure your clients will be super, super happy. Anyways, if you guys are going to have any other specific questions regarding this concept, please feel free to contact me. I'll be more than happy to talk a little bit more if there is something which I've missed. Again, when it comes to my lighting, pretty much standard. I'm using the same Rembrandt lighting with 2 lights. That's pretty much everything, but the background makes this whole thing even more interesting. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll chat with you guys next Monday. Bye bye.